Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, July the 25th. We have book author John Howe with us today. I think is this your second or third time you've been
might
here?
even be four. I don't know,
Yeah,
Paul. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. You've written a book called The Foolish Corner. This it deals with money and what to do with money, what not to do with money, bringing our emotions into it. Because when we let emotions take hold of us, money can go flying out the window real fast.
Boy, absolutely. So emotional decisions don't help us at all. And as humans, we have a fairly long list of biases and kind of cognitive limitations that also get in the way of us making sound financial decisions.
Do you find that most people deal in emotions with money, or do a lot of people sit down and just put it down on paper and look at it in an unbiased way?
I think very few people do the unbiased way thing. I think there's a lot of psychology about money, and a lot of us have hang-ups about money from childhood or things like that. And so that's one reason one might employ a financial advisor, is to bring someone who's a little bit more objective and far less emotional about your money.
Mm-hmm. Now, today you wanted to deal with something that's called...
It's called a bias towards action.
A bias towards action. Okay, go ahead and explain that.
Okay, so let me tell you how I was thinking about this. It was about 10 days ago, I think, that the last game of the World Cup was played, and I was watching a little bit of the World Cup. And in a soccer game, there is sometimes something called a penalty kick, and a penalty kick is where one kicker kind of faces off against the goalie, and the goalie's got this goaltender's got this very big net to defend, and so the question is, what is the right strategy for the goalie to do? And that is, they have three options. They can jump to the left, they can jump to the right, or they can stay put in the middle. And it turns out that a statistical study that I was reminded of when I was watching the World Cup shows that using a large sample says that the best thing for the goalie to do, believe it or not, is just to stay right in the middle.
Not to jump to the right
Not to jump to the right or the left. Because, by the way, I'll add, they have to guess. They can't wait till the ball's kicked and then react. So they're basically guessing which way it's going to go. But if you look at this large sample of kicks, penalty kicks, it turns out they would be more successful. By the way, this setup favors the kicker. It's very tough to be a goalkeeper in this setting. But they would be more successful if they just stayed in the middle. But they rarely do that. And so the question is, why don't they do that? And the answer is kind of in this bias towards action. In fact, when you survey these goalies and say, well, have you considered this strategy? What's wrong with just staying in the middle? You'll have a higher success rate if you do that. They say, I'd rather fail taking an action, that is maybe diving left when the ball goes right, than fail by not doing anything, that is standing there and watch the ball to go to the left or the right, even though the statistics suggest they would be better off standing in the middle. So they have this bias towards action.
All right. Now you take that and you apply it to money.
Okay.
Bias towards action. A lot of people will invest their money and they will try to time the stock market, right?
Yes, a lot of people do that.
That's bias towards action.
It is, right.
When everybody that I know has advised, and we've talked about it on this program many times, you don't try to time the stock market. If you're going to make investments, do it on a regular basis and be able to stomach the bad times and temper what comes along with the good times.
Absolutely. So there are many kinds of actions that people can take in the market, and this is a prime example that you gave, Paul, is this trying to time the action. So that's a very kind of active strategy. You're trying to figure out, is the market overvalued now? Is it undervalued? Should I be in? Should I be out? Sort of thing. And by the way, the evidence on that is that virtually nobody can time the market successfully. And so that kind of, there is a bias towards action there.
Right, exactly. And sometimes when the market goes up or goes down, there's no really rhyme or reason why that should happen, because it's operating on rumors.
It is. It's very hard to predict
And emotion.
Exactly, the emotion of the investors and things that are rumors that aren't solid information, maybe just a hint of information. And so that's one of the reasons why the market is so unpredictable, especially in the short run. If we take a 10-year horizon, then the prediction that the market will go up is a pretty safe prediction. But if you're trying to time the market over a month or two, even a year or two, there's just too much unpredictability to it for that to be a successful investment strategy.
So the bottom line is to be patient and do your investments on a regular basis and be able to stomach it when it goes down and be happy when it goes up.
Absolutely. And if I can just take another minute, just talking about there are other kinds of actions. People tend to sell when the market goes down. They get in this emotional state that you were talking about.
And then you're going to lose money.
Yeah, and then they get in a panic and they say, "Oh, I shouldn't have been here in the first place," and they sell out as the market's going down. As opposed to the point that you just made, just hang in there. In the long run, things do correct themselves. But that's an action that's quite detrimental to people's financial health.
Exactly. And in fact, when the market goes down, if you have a steady program of investing, you're actually better off by buying into it when I'm not giving you this advice. This is what I've read many times. You have a better ability to make money if you're buying into it when it's low.
Well, a lot of people like a strategy called dollar cost averaging, which is pretty much what you're describing.
Yes. If you have the money taken out of your paycheck every month with your employer, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's taken out, and it goes in when it's good, and it goes in when it's bad.
By the way, that's a good thing, too, from a behavioral point of view. It's a lot easier to have it taken out and kind of, in some sense, never see it, rather than put it in your checking account where it might be tempting, like, well, maybe I won't invest this month, Yeah. So this is kind of a self-control thing to do that a lot of people do. But what it means is when the market's down, you're getting more shares for that fixed number of dollars that you're investing that month.
Exactly.
So
you cover a lot of this in the Foolish Corner?
I do, yes. In fact, I explicitly advocate a fairly passive investment strategy that's pretty much as you described. Diversify, keep your expenses low, don't react to the jagged ups and downs in the short run.
Okay. All right. John, thank you so much. Well, you're also a professor?
I am a professor. At the moment, I'm chair of the finance department here at the University of Missouri in the True-Last College of Business.
So do you talk about this in class?
I do some, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Pleasure having you here. The Foolish Corner. And where can you pick the book up?
It is available on Amazon, both as a hard copy, which you're holding in your hand. It's also available as Kindle for those of you that want to read off a device.
Or from the trunk of your car.
Well, I suppose, if you can find it. Right. Absolutely.
John Howe, thank you so much.
It is my pleasure.
It's our pleasure to tomorrow, City of Columbia and Peacemakers Quilt Show. Drop me an email if you have any suggestions you'd like to hear or see. pepperp@missouri.edu. Have yourself a nice day. Bye-bye.